Happy full moon, everyone! In today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 top crystals to work with on the full moon, and this can be any full moon in general. Today is the full moon in Scorpio. It is also a lunar eclipse. The eclipse can't be seen in all of the world. You can't see it in the Americas or the British Isles. But no matter where you are in the world, you are still under the influence of its energy. So the number one crystal, in my opinion, to work with in the full moon energy is Labradorite. Can see how it has these little blue flashes in it. It's beautiful. So it's all about shining the light from within, illumination. It is really good to work with for the third eye. It's all about seeing how everything is connected. When you work with Labradorite, you'll see a lot of synchronicities happening, and you'll be a lot more aware of them. It enhances your intuition that you already have. It's also protective. You can wear it on your left side or whatever your non-dominant side is to draw that intuition to you, and it brings out your confidence in your own intuition. It's already there, but it just brings out what you already have. So that's Labradorite, if I could talk right. I made a rhyme. Next we'll move on to Selenite. And the next one of the top 5 crystals to work with full moon energy is Selenite. Scientific nerd talk on the Mohs scale of hardness. It's one of the softer crystals, so it is very fragile. You can also get it in little shapes of bowls. You can get it in wand shapes. It's very multifunctional. So what it does is it can cleanse and charge all of your other crystals. You can set all of your crystals in a little bowl of it. You can also use it as a wand and wave it over yourself, especially over the top of your head, and that's going to help clear out blockages. It's also said to help you sleep better. Some people have the opposite effect where it makes them feel more awake, and if you work with it a lot, like if you put a 5-pound tower next to your head when you sleep, when it's clearing out those blockages, it is normal to have headaches. That's just clearing out the energy. So I think it's a great crystal to have in your collection. Next we'll move on to Moonstone. So another one of the top 5 crystals to work with full moon energy is Moonstone, and of course it's fitting and pretty easy to remember that way. So true Moonstone comes in only 2 varieties, gray Moonstone and peach Moonstone. So we have a peach Moonstone, and it's a form of feldspar, and then we have gray Moonstone. And I actually have one that's a combination of both that kind of looks like a tortoiseshell cat. I love it. So with peach Moonstone, I would recommend the peach Moonstone the most for a full moon. I feel like gray Moonstone is better to work with a new moon energy. So peach Moonstone, it's very, very highly feminine. It connects you to your intuition that's already in you, much like Labradorite does. And what's different about it being peach is because it's in the orange family, it is connected a little bit to your sacral chakra, which has to do with passion, joy, and creativity. So it's got that soft feminine energy, but it's a little bit more joyful, like it's got a little bit of a burst of energy to it that's got a really happy feeling. Gray Moonstone, however, and it's good to work with the new moon energy, it's still feminine, it connects you to your intuition, but it's a little bit more dark, like a dark feminine. And next we will, so that's Moonstone in a nutshell for you. Next we'll move on to Rainbow Moonstone, also known as White Labradorite. So next on the list of the top 5 crystals to work with for full moon energy so it's technically considered white Labradorite, but it's marketed often as Rainbow Moonstone. Rainbow Moonstone isn't a true moonstone, however, because Labradorite and Moonstone are both in the feldspar family, they do have very similar energies, and they're scientifically very similar also. So Rainbow Moonstone This connects you more to your crown chakra. So when you're working with the full moon energy and you're trying to connect on the spiritual realm and to the divine and your higher self, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it that makes sense for you, I highly recommend a rainbow moonstone. It also has very feminine receptive energy where it helps you hear the things that are not being said. And it also, a lot of it also has, if you can see the black tourmaline inclusions, which black tourmaline is very protective and it's very grounding. I talk about it in a lot of my videos because I love the stuff personally. So that kind of helps keep both feet on the ground while you're floating into outer space, connecting to your higher self. So next we will go ahead and move on to clear quartz. And clear quartz is the next one of the top 5 crystals to work with during the full moon. It's very cleansing, it's known as the master healer, and full moon energy is great for releasing anything that you feel no longer serves you and you're trying to release that energy and drop that heavy weight and get rid of that burden. Clear quartz is very cleansing and also very important to remember that it's very amplifying when it comes to energy. So if you use it with any other crystal, it's going to amplify the energy of that crystal. So let's say that you want to work with Labradorite, getting into your intuition and the third eye and seeing how everything is all interconnected. You pair it with clear quartz, it's going to beef it up like it's on steroids. And I would not recommend using clear quartz anywhere in the bedroom or like any time that you're trying to sleep. It is very stimulating. It's almost like drinking a cup of coffee, pretty much. Next, we'll move on to, last but not least, black tourmaline. So black tourmaline is really great to work with if, let's say that you're working with that full moon energy and it's making you feel like you're going crazy and everything's going wrong, everything's driving you bonkers, you feel a lot of anxiety and you just can't sleep at night, then you definitely want to work with something that's more grounding. You can work with mostly any black crystal, but I would say black tourmaline has been my favorite lately. It kind of helps keep you down to earth in your little safety bubble, and it helps you tap into your energy of feeling your own security and your feet on the ground so that you're not floating into outer space and easily getting taken away by the stressful energy that some full moons can have. Even if you're staying in your own lane, sometimes it feels like the people around you are going crazy and it rubs off on you, and this will just help kind of keep everything down to earth, keep you in your own little safety bubble, and no matter what anybody else tells you, however they're acting, it helps so that outside influences can't penetrate your safety bubble of light. Well, that pretty much, in a nutshell, is the top 5 crystals to work with during the full moon. Well, thank you all. I hope you all have gotten a chance to get outside if you live where it's nice out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I might come back on later and do another video that has to do with the full moon. Well, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.